A released WWE star is making their AEW debut tonight. We've got injury updates on Adam Cole and Sammy Guevara, and multiple Raw stars are heading to tonight's SmackDown. Oh yeah! Let's take a look at the news. Are you ready, Andrew?
I'm ready.
Lucha! 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 Oh, I should have got more over that. A released WWE star, released a little while back, is making his AEW debut tonight. If you want to tune into AEW Rampage this Friday, today, you will see none other than, it's one of three, guess, Lince Dorado. He's a cat, and he's going to be in cat action in a four-way match, and it's a big one, big stakes here, because the winner of that match gets a future Ring of Honor World Championship match against the current champion, Eddie Kingston. He's in there with Commander, he's in there with Penta, and he's in there with Johnny TV.
Ooh. That's a nice matchup of people right there. People that have wrestled each other before as well, so they know each other really well. And I'm surprised that Lince hasn't already been on AEW, considering that he's been pretty much everywhere else since leaving WWE. So, yeah, I'm happy for him. A one-off appearance, maybe, who knows, maybe we see him a bit more in the future. I think he'd fit in perfectly because there's a lot of amazing luchadors in AEW at the moment too. So I think if he did decide, maybe I want to go over there for a little bit, I think it'd work out quite well for him.
I don't know if this is sort of a glorified tryout match for him. Maybe a little bit of scouting, see if he's up to it. He's very, very good. I've been reading, and I haven't seen many, I don't want to pretend I've seen loads of his CMLL stuff, and he's been all over the shop actually over the last few years, released back in 2021. I haven't seen too much, but I've been reading a lot of rave reviews about his stuff. He was always super solid in the ring. Yeah. But I always felt that maybe he didn't have the sort of gimmick, or maybe the storyline to sink his teeth into, his little cat teeth, to push into that next level. He was always just sort of there, and I don't think they used Lucha House Party as effectively as they could have done either. That didn't help. No. But he has he's gone away, and he's just doing really good stuff. So maybe AEW will pick him up. I'm not sure.
We'll see.
I'm not sure. We're not going to spoil the match. Obviously, it's a pre-tape and all that, but you can tune in to see a bit of Lince. He does Twitch still.
Does he?
Lucha Lit. That's his thing.
Lucha Lit.
Lucha Lit is his new trademark, I guess. And I think he's on a certain fan site as well. There's only one of them. I think he's on there as well. I might have just...
Little mask on the wicket on there.
I don't think I've made that up. If I'm wrong, I'm really sorry. I'm pretty sure I'm right. So if you want to check out his other work, you can head over to that particular website as well. Sticking with AEW now, we got a couple of injury updates for you. God, I hope I'm right on that, and I haven't just made
I'm excited now. I'm excited now.
No, I'm almost positive.
Yeah.
I'm sure I read that. Not a subscriber. Anyway, two injury updates on two big AEW superstars. AEW... Adam Cole. Yeah. The big one. He's been chatting away on his Twitch stream, providing a bit of an update on his current injury status. It's not very good news, unfortunately.
It's not. He says, my ankle is broken. When it's all said and done, when I'm eventually able to get everything all fixed, I'm going to need to get 2 surgeries, and it will be a total of 8 screws and a plate in my ankle. So, not ideal. It's incredibly painful. It's the most painful injury I've ever had. He goes on to say, speaking to doctors, it was just an absolute freak type of thing. No idea how it happened. I'm doing my best to stay as positive as I can. Obviously, this is soul crushing. It's really, really a bummer. If anything, it's more painful mentally and physically. It really, really hurts as well.
Few bits there. First of all, if there's anyone who is able to stay as positive as can be, it's Adam Cole.
He's just the sweetest man.
He's a lovely chap, isn't he? And to hear that in his long and storied career is the most painful injury that he's ever had is absolutely gutting. It's bad news to hear that it's going to take 2 surgeries. We don't know when he's going to be back, but that indicates that it's going to be a while. Yeah,
I think it indicates absolutely that it's going to be a while. I still, obviously, AEW is still giving him little tidbits here and there of story as well to progress things along with him and MJF. We've obviously recently got, the Master Assailants attacking Jay White backstage as well at Dynamite, which I feel like could lead something there that still keeps sort of Adam Cole ticking along a little bit in terms of storyline too, so he's not completely out of the picture in things, which is good.
It is good, but it's tough to do that for the amount of time that Adam Cole has indicated he might be out for. That's really, really rough. So I don't know, they might end up wrapping those up and coming back to them at some point. Speculation, of course, but you can't, if Adam Cole's getting 2 surgeries, he's going to be out for a fair few months, obviously.
Yeah, you'd assume so.
I don't know how long they can keep that going for. We send him the very best because he's awesome, and this has come at a really horrible time as well. Like, he's so prominently featured on AEW TV. That for this to happen now is really, really rubbish. He'll get back to it. Obviously, he'll be as good as he ever was.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Just rest up. Have a lemsip. Moving on, Sammy Guevara. We got an injury update there. He was pulled from this week's episode of Dynamite. He was scheduled to be in a tag match. He was replaced by Kyle Fletcher. Don Callis breaking that news on the show. Dave Meltzer offering a little bit of an update on Sammy Guevara on Wrestling Observer Radio.
Oh, well, he certainly did that. He said, Sammy got a concussion on the pay-per-view, is what happened. So he's out until... It's a concussion story. Could be next week. Could be. Who knows? But yeah, he's out.
Thanks, Dave.
Yes, thanks, Dave.
When he says it's a concussion story, he doesn't mean it's a concussion storyline.
Yes, yeah.
The story is that it's a concussion, but it's real. It's not a story. You get what we mean. So, yeah, we don't know when Sammy will be back. He put in a really good showing at the pay-per-view. I thought it was a fun match.
Good show. And again... Well, I mean, it's a shame when anyone gets injured, but yet again, another shame, especially when the Don Callis story, along with, Kenny and Chris on the other side of things, really getting hot as well. One of the best storylines, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
Too, within AEW, and for Sammy to, align himself with Don and then go back to being just a horrible heel again. Like the perfect thing for him. It felt like things were sort of starting to roll in his favor once again, but yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back sooner rather than later. You never know with concussions.
No, you don't.
It can be a week. It can be a month. It can be a few months.
As we've seen with Moxley as well, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Recently, yeah.
It's good that these things are being taken seriously.
Yes,
right?
for sure.
So we send our very best as well to Sammy Guevara, the unlikable little scamp. Moving on, tonight's SmackDown, set to be a big show. It's the go home at the moment. We've only got 5 matches on tomorrow night's pay-per-view. Expect maybe 1 or 2 more to be added on SmackDown. We'll see. We already knew that Cody Rhodes was going to be there alongside Jey Uso. They'll be challenging for the tag straps tomorrow night. But according to PW Insider, a couple of other Raw stars are going to be there. Alpha Academy scheduled to be at tonight's SmackDown taping. We don't know what the deal is going to be, whether they're going to appear on the show or not. They might just do a dark match or something like that. But Alpha Academy, if you are going tonight, you might be lucky enough to see Gable and Otis having a laugh.
Thank you. Thank you. Imagine that. You get a ticket for SmackDown and you're like, well, I'm probably not going to see Alpha Academy. And then you get to see Alpha Academy. Oh, I'd be so happy with that.
Oh, yeah. They're just doing great work, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, absolutely.
Really are.
So, yeah, I don't know where, if, as you said, maybe it is a dark match, because I don't really know where they'd fit in unless it is just a daft backstage segment kind of thing. I don't know.
They might set something up for them on the pay-per-view,
They
just a
could
6th
do.
match. They don't
Maybe
do the pre-show
it's like-
matches now, so
Yeah,
I don't know.
A tag
maybe.
team match to determine who could then challenge for the championships?
Yeah.
Afterwards, maybe?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. You might see him, you might not. But if you go in, you also might, and you might not. Maybe they just visit in the area. Finally, an interesting one. Becky Lynch has been pitching for a surprising manager in WWE. Mick Foley, of all people.
Yeah.
This was a bit of a shocker. Chatting away on the Foley is Good podcast, saying that Becky Lynch once wanted the former manager managing her on TV. He was talking about potential ones in AEW if they were to bring him in as well. What did he say?
He said, I can't think of anybody offhand, said Foley, when asked who he'd manage in current day AEW, because honestly, I don't think I have much to offer in a managerial role.
So humble.
Yeah, he is so humble. Do you know who's always wanted me to do an angle, like from a managerial perspective? Becky Lynch. She pointed that out a few times. I said, Becky, if you can talk to the powers that be, I would, but she's doing really well on her own. So I can't think offhand of somebody who could benefit from me standing around ringside as a middle-aged man. He's really humble. So I'm open to ideas, though. That would have been a pairing.
Would have been weird.
It would have been
Becky
weird.
doesn't need anyone on the stick for her. Mick, great talker, right?
Mick
Becky,
on the stick.
great talker.
Yeah.
I just don't. I think it would just be a little bit odd. When he was talking, the more interesting thing here is him going like, I can't think of anyone offhand in AEW. I think there's one, and maybe the timing's not quite right now. I thought Darby Allin would be a good one because I think
Like,
there are a lot of parallels there in two guys who are sacrificing their bodies and making the later years of their lives miserable by doing this insane stuff. And I think there's like a mentor-student role there for those two guys. I think there could be a nice little thing there that would work really well. Maybe with Mick saying like, "You don't have to do this. Don't be the next me."
I quite like that because
that could work.
those are two people who literally just sacrifice their bodies to try and win matches.
Yep.
And I like that. Obviously, we've seen Darby can do the wrestling side of stuff as well. So maybe, if Mick came in and was like, "Well, maybe you should start not doing what I did back in the day, so you can do it a bit longer than I was able to do it for," sort of thing, and then get Darby back into the wrestling sort of side of stuff rather than just like the hardcore side of stuff.
It worries me.
It
really
does.
does.
Yeah. I know. But what a wonderful man he is. That
Isn't
Mick
he?
Foley. What a lovely man.
He's awesome. I really love seeing him on TV. I was gutted when he came back. He was Raw GM for a bit, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
And Foley's like my favourite ever. And I thought, this could be really, really good. And it turned out to not be so good at all. So I'd love to see him back on TV if he's up to it. Anyway, thank you very much. We will be back with more news very, very shortly. Loads of content on the channel from this week. You got pictures, you got predictions, you got podcasts coming up tonight. Join us for live stream tomorrow. What happened at WTF? You know how it works. Take care of yourselves. See you in a bit.